Today on Suncoast View, Hurricane Michael inches closer to the Panhandle. We'll check in with meteorologist John Scalzi to find out how this storm will affect the Suncoast.
It's Mental Illness Awareness Week, and the number of our youth fighting this silent epidemic is sobering. Find out what you can do to help.
And a Suncoast icon steps out of the spotlight. After more than 40 years on stage at Sarasota Jungle Gardens, we'll meet Frosty the Parrot. All that and more right now on Suncoast View. Welcome to the show. It's a big morning here at ABC 7. Lots going on with weather, and we'll be keeping you updated as we go throughout the show. We want to welcome Maria Shadler-Luera of Any Given Child Sarasota. Welcome.
Thanks for having me again.
Aren't we lucky this morning?
Yes.
That storm could just as easily be coming here.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're happy that all of us obviously are here and keeping an eye on. And I know that you have your two young girls are here in Sarasota with you, of course, and you're very involved in the arts because of what you do with Any Given Child. Remind us a little bit about the arts integration that you do.
Yes, so we are a collective impact initiative within the Sarasota County Schools to expand and enhance access and equity in arts education.
And you do a wonderful job. I know everyone, your small but mighty team here on the Suncoast does a great job. And you really practice what you preach because your two little girls are very involved in the arts here. And I believe we actually have a photo of them as aspiring dancers.
Oh, look at that. Oh, how cute.
I used to have one ballerina, now I have two because little sister wants to do what big sister does.
Well, at least you can drive them both at the same time.
Yes, for the shows. Yeah, their rehearsals is all over the place.
Oh,
yes.
It is a full-time job getting the kids to rehearsals and stuff.
It really is.
And as I was the youngest of four, so whatever my brothers did, I always wanted to do, so my parents were always shuttling us around. But it's great. It's great that you're here, and of course, we got to see your other half, Will Luera of FST Improv, was here earlier. So
you are really involved in the arts.
We're both really happy to try on the new set this week.
Oh yes, good. Well, we're glad you're comfy.
We're very proud.
Yes,
we're very proud to invite you in with our lovely chairs and our beautiful table.
We're lucky to be very comfortable this morning. Excuse me. So we are going to check in the Rice's Appliance Kitchen today. We have Pitmaster Clint from Brick Smoked Meats. Welcome. What are we making today?
Today we're going to make Brick's baked beans. It's very delicious.
Nice. So a great side, obviously, for all of your barbecued smoked meats that you have at Brick's.
Absolutely.
Great. Well, I think it is a good day to kind of hunker down with some comfort food as we're concerned
Although
about.
I make great baked beans, I have to say. So this will be a challenge for you. Yours are better than mine.
We'll have a little bake-off in the kitchen a little later on. Well, Maria, I know we were talking about your daughters, but you also have a new addition to the family that feels very appropriate for today.
Yeah, we just got our 6th pet.
Yes.
And it's all because of my oldest, and it was her birthday, so I told her this is the last birthday, she's getting another pet.
But this is a more unusual one.
Yeah,
Who
we
is
got
this?
Miss Fluff joined the family about 2 weeks ago.
What kind of bird?
She's a parakeet.
Oh.
Do they live like 100 years?
No. I was told anything between 7 to 15. I guess it depends on.
Yeah, 100 years is a little frightening with a pet.
Yes, but I'm sure kids will be off to college, and Will and I will be left with all the pets.
It'll be you and the bird, and then the other pets. Yes. Well, we're going to meet a bird later who's a big Suncoast icon and part of Sarasota Jungle Gardens.
Yeah,
so how
very
perfect!
Exciting.
Yeah, maybe that.
I know.
There might be a casting call to replace that bird. We'll see. All right. Well, on a more serious note, all eyes are definitely on weather this morning as Hurricane Michael approaches the Panhandle. We're seeing some effects here on the Suncoast. There has been flooding in parts of Anna Maria Island. Anna Maria Elementary is the school they've closed for the day due to Hurricane Michael. We just want to give you a reminder not to drive through any flooded roads. Safety should be on everyone's mind. ABC 7 meteorologist John Scalzi will be giving us an extended mid-morning forecast in just a little bit. But obviously for the latest on Michael and all breaking news, you can get right up to the minute first alert notifications on our app. You can head over to the new app. You find it on the App Store under WWSB or My Suncoast. I've used it for all of my weather needs. If I can't get to our team right here, it's a great resource, and they put a lot of great stuff on it.
When I learned about it first was when we had Hurricane Irma, and everything was down, everything was cut off, but you could go on your phone to your app, and it was like you were watching live television.
Yes.
You could see every minute, everything was happening. And it was like really we had contact with the world. I don't know how we would have gotten through it without that.
It's true. It is a great resource to have, and so certainly keep your eyes on it now. I know I've gotten very into watching the radar because I've started swimming, and they'll close the pool if there's lightning, so I'll check and see, will I be safe to swim today? All right, I'll make it. So
I've gotten into watching our show right after it's over.
that's even better, better. Yes, of course. You can anything you miss, you can certainly catch on that app. Well, it is time for our first hot topic. And last night was the deadline to register to vote in Florida, but a sudden spike in voter registration across the U.S. might be thanks to one celebrity. Taylor Swift broke her usual political silence on Instagram to endorse Tennessee Democratic candidates and to urge fans to get out and vote. More than 166,000 registrations were made in the following 2 days of her post, with 42% being between the ages of 18 and 24. What do you think about her using her reach to get people to vote, to get young people to vote?
I think that's our duty, to do whatever we can to make the world better, to give more people a voice. So I think she just fulfilled her duty. So you've got to do what you can do. We may be only able to influence 1 or 2 people, but she was able to influence a lot more. Now I just hope those people learn about those candidates and choose very, very carefully.
Yeah, that is a good point, because registering to vote is the first step, but then staying educated on what what the candidates stands are on different issues is the bigger responsibility.
Absolutely.
I remember in the past looking down that list and saying, I think I've heard that name before, so pushing the button. I'm a lot more careful now.
What do you think about, I know sometimes there's some criticism of a pop star or an actor giving political endorsement. On one end of the debate, people will say, well, just be a performer. We don't need to hear your stand on things. Do you think that she's overstepping by supporting specific candidates?
I don't know what she would be overstepping, because it's her career. I would not take my political advice from Taylor Swift. We have very different lives. We have very different needs. So I wouldn't let her influence who I voted for unless she knew something that I didn't, some inside information. But I'm just glad she's bringing awareness.
And
So am I,
yeah, for your
absolutely.
2 girls, are you proud that she can be a role model for them?
I think it's important, and in voting, I always took it for granted. I thought it was mandatory, because it is mandatory in Brazil. So we don't have a choice. You have to vote. It is your duty as a citizen. And so when I became a citizen here, I immediately registered to vote.
Oh,
and
good.
I take my girls with me, and that's what I've been doing since I was 16, because we start voting at 16.
I can remember the first time I voted.
Yeah.
I can still remember that because I was so proud.
Yes.
It meant you were an adult
Yes.
and you've got something to say and people will listen.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm happy to see that your girls can see how important it is to you. And when you think back the number of people that could not vote and fought for the right to vote, it should,
Absolutely.
it's
Yes,
not
especially for
mandatory, but
women.
you
Yes.
will be socially pressured and shamed if you don't vote at this point.
My mother could remember when women were not allowed to vote. So we are lucky to live in this day now, but
Yeah.
let's just take advantage of it.
Yes, I agree. Well, college students have relied on a cup of coffee to get through an early morning class. But what if they could get that coffee for free? A cafe at Brown University invites students to pay for their coffee by filling out a form with basic info, names, phone numbers, email addresses.
And of course, college students are now picking out their early morning classes, and there is a cafe that is giving out free coffee if you will let them put your name and all of your information in, your email address, all of those things. So that is very worrying to many of us. The way the coffee shop can target ads in their store now approximately goes to their audience and to the students. Should the students give up their personal information for $1, which is what that coffee would cost, would you give up your personal information and let them come into your website and into your email for just a cup of coffee? What do you think? Not me.
I normally would say I would do anything for free coffee because I love coffee, but I would like to know what they're using my information for. Absolutely.
And what they're using for today could be very different from 5 years from now. And once they're in, they're in. So sometimes for what we want at the moment, we'll give up an awful lot and then regret it for years and years to come.
It's true, and I think that we could also be teaching kids at a young age, like, oh yeah, what's your personal information worth? Sure, $1, that's fine. You know, that's where this story makes me a little bit nervous, just because, yes, it's the same information that we are giving away on Facebook, but, you know, now we're doing it in exchange for a product, and all of a sudden, I don't know, maybe it just makes us realize that our data is what people are after in many times.
Yes, and why do they want it? Mine is not that interesting. It's very boring, so it's not for entertainment.
No.
It's something much more important. So I would tell my kids, don't do it.
Yes. All right. Well, and thanks, Linda, for jumping in. We had a quick mic issue, but we seem to be back in order.
It's the storm.
Yes.
It's the storm.
There you
We're
go.
going to blame the hurricane for everything.
Well, parents have many tough jobs tough hands-on jobs, managing homework, activity schedules, etc. But experts say one of the most important with lifetime impact is being the gatekeeper of a child's diet. Nutritionists say the feeding style with the most positive health outcome is known as an authoritative feeding style, kind of like love with limits. The parent sets rules but still considers the child's preferences. Experts say this teaches them to eat a variety of foods, be selective about sweets, and control how much they eat. When you step back and think about it, teaching a child how and what to eat has incredible impact on their life. Now, I will confess, I am not a parent. I've never had to force a child to eat, but you both have had to do it. Does this approach work?
Well, to a certain extent it does.
Sometimes.
Because the thing that we all want most is what our mother made. And you taste what somebody else's mother made and think, oh, that's awful. But my stepdaughter, or my daughter-in-law, is a doctor. She's Persian. And she said when her baby was born, she will think that broccoli is candy. Hasn't quite worked out that way. And yet she controls everything the little girl eats. And yet she still will go around a party and say, could I have your dessert? Could I have your dessert? How's it working out with your girls?
It's difficult, you know, when you try to impose limits, and I try to model, you know, eating healthy for my girls as well. I'm actually pretty lucky. Olivia, as the oldest, she's very adventurous in her taste, and I think it's because we travel so much. So she likes trying new food, which is not easy with kids. They always want, you know, their mac and cheese or pasta or plain food, and you can't always get that when you're traveling.
Yes, and I think a lot of it is they like plain food. They don't really like spices, and like we do, we develop that like.
We do, and I think exposing them early is the key, because I notice them being way more open now.
That's great, and I think they will thank you for that for years to come, because I know my brothers are very picky eaters, and in adulthood they've discovered other foods and said, why didn't you tell me how great this is? So that you're doing a good thing.
I never ate tomatoes, and I told my kids, oh, tomatoes are awful.
Really?
And they both come to me later and said, tomatoes are great. Why didn't you tell us that? So I still get that a lot. Why didn't you tell me I would like
all
tomatoes?
the good things you did, and that's what they'll remember.
Oh, they'll never forget that.
Well, experts warn that flu season is off to an early start, and some parents are taking extra steps to protect their kids. The latest parenting trend is to attach a sign to a baby's car seat, telling people to keep their germy paws to themselves and off the baby. The signs read, "Please look, don't touch," or "Your germs are too big for me." Infants younger than 6 months cannot get a flu shot. What do you think about these signs? Do you think they're rude, or are they reasonable?
How big of a problem is that, people touching babies who are out in public like that? Now, my daughter-in-law, again, did not take her children out until they were over 6 months old because she really worried about that. But I think it's the germs we just get, not the germs of the baby being touched by strangers.
Do you think the sign is going too far? Do you think, you know, this is a way of stopping people? Because every once in a while you'll see a handsy. I don't want to say it's a grandma, but you'll see see a stranger in public just go to touch someone's child.
I've never done that.
I've never used the signs, and I think I had to learn how to be comfortable with just saying, like, can you please not touch her? and just
Yeah, because
say it in a nice way.
if the person is doing that, they're not a real good friend
Right.
of yours anyway.
Right,
So,
exactly.
so you have to protect your kid.
I mean,
whatever.
I have a dog, and I'm not trying to compare a child to a dog, but when people go to touch her, she's a biter. So I will just, I lean and lean away until I eventually just give them my shoulder. So maybe I'll make a little sign.
Don't touch Lulu.
Exactly, exactly. All right, well, it is time for our mid-morning forecast with John Scalzi. He'll be giving us the latest and also an extended look ahead at what we can expect with the weather. John?
Thank you very much, Joey. Lots going on in the weather, obviously. Currently, we have scattered showers around the region. We do have some impacts from Michael, but they are minimal compared to what other places in Florida are already experiencing, even at this hour, despite the fact the landfall is still probably 5 hours away. 81 degrees, our current air temperature. We have a heat index already feeling like 89 degrees out there, so thick and sticky. As is often the case before a landfalling hurricane, the humidity goes way up, and it's spiked. It spiked at 78 as a dew point value. That's just about as high as it gets in the dead of summer, so a particularly strong southeasterly flow helping to bring that in. Winds are strong today. They're brisk. Certainly no winds that'll do any damage, particularly, certainly to a well-built structure, but it could blow around porch umbrellas or maybe garbage can lids, that sort of thing. So definitely, if you haven't already done so and you have porch umbrellas, bring those down. Do yourself a favor, or outdoor awnings, those kind of things. You might want to stow those. We have a southeast wind coming in at about 20, particularly if you live near the coastline. So we'll have a cloudy day today, and we'll have good chances of showers and thunderstorms around, 70 to 80% chance of that throughout the morning into the afternoon. And then we'll start to see those rain chances begin to decrease as we head into the second half of the day and the storm makes landfall, moves inland, and some of the rain bands begin to dissipate just a little bit. We could actually see our winds pick up just a little bit this afternoon as Michael makes landfall. This has been a remarkable storm. It has survived in a wind environment that is extremely hostile to hurricanes and, in fact, strengthened in that environment. It has now tapped into the warm waters of the Gulf, and it has gone from a Category 1 hurricane to a Category 4, strong 4, in 24 hours. This is a monster storm with 145-mile-an-hour winds, now with its sights set on the panhandle of Florida, making landfall this afternoon around 2 or 3 o'clock and then moving inland still as a strong major hurricane across the peninsula of Florida and the panhandle of Florida and into Georgia, perhaps as a Category 1 hurricane. It then lifts off pretty rapidly as it's picked up by a cold front and ejected off the mid-Atlantic coastline Friday. And as it does that, it'll probably still be a tropical storm, spreading lots of rainfall throughout this area, in areas that don't need the rainfall. Wave heights across the center of this storm, unbelievable. We're looking at some 30-foot waves in places across the near the center of circulation in the eye of the hurricane. That's what reporters, the Hurricane Hunter aircraft have reported, 30-foot waves. Now, all of that water is being piled up on these concave coasts that catch the water and don't allow it to go anywhere. So consequently, storm surges are going to be tremendous. Already some wave estimates, some wind speed estimates of data buoys out there of 70 miles an hour just off the coast of Cape San Blas. For us, we've got some tropical storm force winds, but they're way out in the waters. We're looking here at wind speeds close to the coastline of about 30 miles an hour or so, and along the coast, 20, 25 miles per hour, with some gusts perhaps a little bit higher. But check out these storm surge estimates, maybe 13-foot storm surge north of us. And in our area, we'll see a little bit of surge, but it won't be that great. 2 feet is what we have seen, and we'll probably see that again as we head into high tide this afternoon. A couple of high tides I want to inform you of. We have a high tide at Anna Maria where they have already seen some coastal flooding, and that'll occur at about 1:39 this afternoon. Another tide tonight at 12:41 will probably be less impacted by the surge, but still you'll probably see tides running high again. And then at Sarasota Bay at 2:28 high tide, followed by another high tide after midnight at 1:30 in the morning. The first tide running probably 2 to 3 feet above its average. So there's the storm, the wind field coming up out of the south briskly. As the storm makes landfall, we start to see those winds begin to twist to a more southwesterly direction, but lighten up just a little bit tonight. And then tomorrow, the winds switch completely to the northwest and become even lighter, and that northwest wind draws in some drier air. And by Friday, the sun returns, drier air sits in place, and we look for temperatures that respond accordingly, maybe in the night, dipping down into the upper 60s. So it'll be a first little taste of fall, I think, coming our way as we head into Friday night and Saturday. Obviously, boating, not a good idea. You're looking at 35 knot gusts, diminishing a little bit this evening, but still staying high throughout the afternoon. Stay in port. We're talking about wave action here of 9 to 11 feet. So some serious wave action coming your way. A forecast for the rest of the week looks pretty good after today. Windy today, 70% chance of showers. Tomorrow decreasing to about 50%. Breezy conditions prevailing with a high of about 88. But then look, on Friday, that drier air filters in with a 20% chance of showers. That's it, and that's only probably during the first half of the day. Look at the nighttime temperatures dipping into the upper 60s near the coast, inland into the lower 60s. And then for the next several days, it'll be sunny, it'll be mild in the afternoons, cool and crisp in the evenings, with very little chance of rain as we head into the beginning of next work week. So some pretty nice stuff in store for us, Joy.
Thank you, John. I feel a little guilty that we're going to be enjoying such nice weather while our neighbors to the north are bracing for the worst. John Scalzi will, of course, we'll be checking in with him throughout the hour, and you will want to join the ABC 7 at noon for a full coverage of all that's happening around the Suncoast. We're going to take a break now, and when we come back, holiday travel is just around the corner. We're going to give you some tips to make sure that you have the best travel coming up this season.
Watch Saturdays at midnight on ABC 7. Premieres September 8th.
Helping families with mesothelioma is all we do. My firm has been offering a free book on mesothelioma for over 10 years. Since that time, hundreds of people with mesothelioma have trusted us to represent them. We have local offices throughout the U.S. and there is no risk to you. Mesothelioma really is all we do.
Call us at 1-800-485-6000. That's 1-800-485-6000.
Or go to mesoonlylaw.com.
At Humana, we believe great things are ahead of you when you start with healthy. And part of staying healthy means choosing the right Medicare plan. Humana can help. With Original Medicare, you're covered for hospital stays and doctor office visits when you're sick, but keep in mind you'll have to pay a deductible for each. A Medicare supplement plan can cover your deductibles and co-insurance, but you may pay higher premiums than you do with other plans, and prescription drug coverage isn't included. But with an all-in-one Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you could get all that coverage plus Part D prescription drug benefits. You get all this coverage for a $0 monthly plan premium in most areas, and Humana has a large network of doctors and hospitals. So call or go online today. Find out if your doctor is part of the Humana network and get your free decision guide. Discover how an all-in-one Medicare Advantage plan from Humana could save you money. There is no obligation and the book is free.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program. Find out first at 4 with ABC 7 News at 4. Weekdays on ABC 7.
And welcome back. Holiday travel is just around the corner, and airlines are trying to make us more comfortable but maybe they don't want us to be this comfortable. So airplane restroom lines can get long, but one parent decided she couldn't wait for the potty. So she got out the porta potty for her toddler and allowed her to use it in the aisle of the plane. Then she got defiant for flight attendants when she was asked to stop. An interesting debate surfaced on social media. Some people found it vile and disgusting, according to their posts, but some said, lay off, it's a toddler. She may have been avoiding a worse accident. All right, what do you think? You both have had to travel with young kids.
Well, I think you double diapers or pull-ups. You can't carry along a potty, but you know this is going to happen. And you can't, first of all, the toddler can't wait like the rest of us can. So you have to be sure you've got a lot of diapers on there.
Absolutely, that's what we used to do. And we've traveled with our kids since they were babies. And of course, when they're getting potty trained, the moment you sit on the plane, they're like, I need to go to the bathroom. We're like, you can't now, we have to wait.
Yeah, well, I was traveling with Kathy once when she was a little baby, and she was fussy getting on, so I just grabbed some chocolate-covered raisins and gave her one. And she went and spit it into the lap of the man in the next seat, and he was asleep. So my dilemma, should I reach down and get the chocolate out of his lap, or should I wake him up and say, I'm sorry, my daughter spit chocolate in your lap? I woke him up. He was furious, demanded first class, and I've never gotten over that.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I guess that was a safer choice than the alternative. Excuse me, sir.
I would have gotten thrown off the plane.
My mom always taught me if there was a child either having a tantrum or something, just be patient. Don't stare. Don't stare at the parent. Obviously, I think this is less than ideal that they have to drop the potty down. But what are you going to do? You know, I don't think there was a good way out of this. We're going to be talking more travel stories as we come up in the next coming weeks, coming up to the holidays. All right, coming up, we have quite the celebrity hanging out in our Wow One Day Painting Green Room. Get ready to meet Frosty the Parrot from Sarasota Jungle Gardens.
Christmas Tradition by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Make your holidays sparkle with style. Browse our amazing showroom, cute collectible cottages, and beautiful Christmas displays. Find the inspiration, selection, and quality you need to deck the halls merry and bright. Christmas Traditions also features the area's largest selection of quality pre-lit Christmas trees, every size, shape, and color, and plenty of decorations to make your home shine for the holidays. Christmas Traditions by Lux Art Silks, where more is merrier. Visit us on New 301, just a quarter-mile north of University Parkway.
Your last chance for 2018 Honda Accords on sale is now during our model year-end sale. Drive new Accords for just $249 a month. Get an Accord, the North American car of the year, for less than the competition. With more standard features than Camry, Honda Sensing, multi-angle camera, turbocharged engine, and more. New Accords, just $249 a month. Your last chance for Accords, all on sale this week at your local Honda dealer.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call, and you cannot be turned down for any reason. Even if you have health problems or are living on a fixed income, guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance policies could work for you, with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. TrueStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
My mom didn't have life insurance and the cost all fell on me. And that's expensive. We're still paying for that.
Yeah, we're still paying for that.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now. In one phone call, you can help prepare your family with protection amounts up to $25,000. There are no medical tests or health questions. And remember, you cannot be turned down for any reason. In fact, TrueStage policies are already protecting over 18 million Americans. And rates are designed to be affordable, starting at less than 32 cents a day. That's as low as $9.40 a month. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease.
When I leave, everything will be taken care of for them.
Call 1-800-218-4991 now for a free, no-obligation quote. TrueStage offers plans to fit your budget with prices starting at less than 32 cents a day. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TrueStage. Call 1-800-218-4991 now.
Get breaking news alerts focused on the Suncoast. Download the ABC7 News app.
And welcome back to Suncoast View. There is an icon here on the Suncoast that you might not have met yet. His name is Frosty Sr., and he is Sarasota Jungle Gardens' 82-year-old performing cockatoo. Well, he is retiring. For over 40 years, Frosty has been performing daily in Sarasota Jungle Gardens' Parrot Show, riding his unicycle and his scooter. And we are very honored to welcome Frosty, who brought along a couple of his friends, Jordan Miller, an educator at Sarasota Jungle Gardens, and Krista Foster, the marketing coordinator. Welcome.
Thank you.
All right, and he does not seem fazed by being on live television.
Nope.
But then he's an old pro at this.
Yes, definitely.
So at 82 years old, he is retiring. So where does 82, are there bird years? Where does it fall in kind of his lifespan?
So there are not bird years. These birds can actually live well into their 80s and their 90s. The average in captivity for cockatoos is around 70 or 80, but it is not unheard of to have cockatoos in their 100s even.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he still has years, could have years of performing,
Absolutely.
but he's retiring now. Why?
Yes, so at his last annual vet checkup, they found that his eyesight is deteriorating, so they decided to take him off of our daily bird shows where he did the high wire, unicycle act, and the scooter behavior as well.
So he was working hard.
Yes, absolutely.
So really, kind of a question of his safety.
Definitely a safety thing.
Wow.
Yes.
But he still has quite a lot of pluck left in him.
Yes, lots of spunk, lots of energy.
And I think we even have some images of some of the stuff that he has done over the years at Jungle Gardens. I'm sure that he's an audience favorite.
Definitely. Everyone loves him. People of all ages come just to see him, so he's a big favorite at Jungle Gardens.
And he likes the audiences,
too.
This is not a bad thing for him to do.
Not
he likes
at
it.
all. Yes, he loves attention, always looking for attention, so it's one of his favorite things to do.
Well, he had great training, right?
Yes, so he actually was trained at Folsom Prison, which is really, really cool. In the 1950s, he was there as part of a rehabilitation program for the inmates, so they would help to train birds, and it would teach them responsibility and caring as well.
Wow. And we have an image of him right here. So
yes.
Is he one of the birds that will repeat things that he hears?
Not really a lot of talking, but he is very good at learning behaviors, so he has learned really, really cool behaviors throughout his life, mainly at Folsom Prison.
Not a lot of talking is probably what kept him active. People never got mad at him.
Yes, well, I was going to say those years at Folsom Prison, it's probably a good thing that he's not doing anything that he might have heard.
He was on the Ed Sullivan Show, which was the #1 show in the world at that time.
So in the 60s, his really cool behaviors that he learned actually landed him a spot on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Wow. All right, so you did bring one of the tricks that I know that he does, and for safety, we're going to make sure, because of the eyesight, we will kind of guide him a little. But let's talk about the unicycle. And as you kind of get him set up, just talk us through a little bit about what he does. How
All
you
right,
work with
so
him.
this is his scooter, and he always does his scooter in the show before the unicycle just to warm himself up. So right now we are going to see if he will perform his scooter behavior for us.
Okay, all right, go for it.
Not many
he's
birds
whispering.
do
You
that.
hear
I'm hearing a little.
Ready, Frosty?
So he sort of talks under his breath.
Yes.
Oh.
Ready? Come here. You're good. Come here.
Here, Frosty.
He says, "What are you talking about here?"
He said as he retired, I think he's not sure if he wants to do one last
You want to ride your scooter?
He says, "What's in it for me here?"
Don't worry, you have a big reward.
Oh, he's very
Well,
excited.
while you're working
There
with
we
him
go.
on the scooter,
It's right there.
Here.
one thing that people probably don't have to consider is you're in charge of full care for him. So it isn't just when he's performing or when Jungle Gardens is open. It's all the time. What type of care does he require?
He gets awesome care from our bird zookeepers. So every day he gets fed 3 times a day. Come on, Frosty. You can do it. Good boy. Hi. As you can see, he definitely loves the spotlight.
You know what? That is good enough for us. He does not have to take his last ride on this show. We will look forward to it. Tell me about some of the other acts and exhibits that you have.
So we are actually in the bird show. Since he is being removed from it, we have some awesome birds that are going to take his spot. So we have an umbrella cockatoo named Frosty Jr.
He's nodding his head.
Yep.
Frosty Jr.,
Yes,
any relation? Is he passing on the torch?
Yes, so to speak. He is not the same species. It is an umbrella cockatoo, but Frosty Jr. loves to paint. So in the bird show, he is going to be painting at the end of our bird show, which is really, really awesome to watch, and it's something that he enjoys doing. So we think that will be an awesome addition to our bird show.
So you find out what the bird likes to do.
Yes.
And then let him do it in the
Yep,
show.
absolutely. So all of our birds have different personalities. They all have stuff they enjoy doing, so we absolutely let them do that, and guests love to see it, and the birds love it as well. Right,
and I
Frosty?
understand that he's going to have a retirement party, so
Yes.
tell us about that.
So on October 20th and 21st, it's a Saturday and Sunday, we are going to have a retirement party for Frosty where guests can come out, get their picture taken with Frosty for free, and those 2 days, all children admission will be half off.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, it'll be awesome.
And so Frosty, what will he do after retirement, after all the years of performing? What do we expect for him next?
So Frosty will still be viewable every single day. He will be on his open air perch in our gardens, and every day we actually have dance parties with Frosty. It's kind of like aerobics for him. It's some stimulus for him because he still loves attention. He still loves hanging out with our zookeepers, so he loves to dance. We discovered that, so every day we have dance parties with him, which is awesome.
Speaking of loving to dance, I did hear that he does have a particular song that he enjoys, which I think we have prepped for him this morning.
Awesome.
So maybe
Wonderful.
we can get a little dance party going on here on the set of Suncoast View.
No
Let's
problem.
see if we can. Are you excited? Do you want to dance?
He is dancing to our theme song.
We're all dancing. Join in, Frosty.
How you doing? You want to dance?
There, he's got the head bob. That's like me at a wedding. So that's
There you
about
go.
what I get. Thank you so much for bringing out Frosty.
Very much.
You can come help Frosty celebrate. Jungle Gardens is hosting Frosty's official retirement party October 20th and 21st. You can find more information online, SarasotaJungleGardens.com. All right, coming up next, we have a weather update with our own meteorologist, John Scalzi. John?
Thank you very much, and thank you, Frosty. We're looking at 81 degrees as the current air temperature. We have a dew point value that takes our feels-like temperature up to 89 degrees already, so we'll probably get up close to 100 today for a feels-like temperature, thanks to that southeast wind blowing briskly at 20 right now. And along the coastline, it's even stronger. We've had some gusts in excess of 25, near 30-mile-per-hour gusts already. Dew point value coming in about as warm as it gets at 78. Just to recap, 145-mile-an-hour central wind around the eye of Michael continues on a track that takes it just hours away from making landfall in the Big Bend region of Florida. Coming up to close to Panama City, Mexico Beach, heading on a track that takes it eventually into parts of Georgia as perhaps a Category 1 hurricane, and then exits off the coast of the mid-Atlantic. A couple of tides will be elevated today. I want to remind you of the Anna Maria tide because folks on Anna Maria already know that they've had some flooding out there, so there's more on the way. 1:39 high tide and another high tide at 12:41 in the morning. And then at Sarasota Bay, Siesta Key had some issues as well. 2:28 high tide and then another high tide at 1:30. So there's the eye of the storm, very well defined, and we have some watch boxes up along the northern coast for the potential of some of these feeder bands slinging back some storms that could produce some isolated tornadoes. A very well-defined eye with big thunderstorms all ringing around the outer edge of the strongest winds, and a clear view of the ocean right straight through the center of the eye. It's now about 70 miles offshore, about 5 hours away from making landfall. And already there have been some reports of some strong winds as well as some reports of some high surge. We're looking at a 62-mile-an-hour reported wind just off the coast of Cape San Blas, and then on Cape San Blas, a storm surge of 4 feet, and that was at 7 o'clock this morning, so several hours ago. That storm surge continues to rise, probably maxing out at around 13 feet in areas of North Florida. The area you see here outlined in red, it's a tornado watch, and it's up till 5 o'clock tonight, but doesn't include us. It's north of Tarpon Springs, so it doesn't include us. But still, we could see some strong storms around as we are dumping lots of rainfall. This one in particular, just outside of Lakewood Ranch, producing pretty good updrafts. Also, the city of Bradenton seeing some pretty good downpours of rain. Fast-moving storms, they're in and out of there pretty quickly, so total rainfall amounts not all that great. Here's one coming up on 72, just through Mayaca Park. That one's producing some fairly heavy rain as well. We'll have the complete forecast again coming up in a few minutes. Back to you.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
Every child follows a path in life. For many, that path will lead them to a door that gives them a place to grow, to learn, to belong, a place to forge their future. Because while many doors open, these doors transform. They did for us. Support your local Boys and Girls Clubs. Great futures start here.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
Watch Suncoast View weekdays at 9 a.m. on ABC 7.
Mental illness affects far more people than many people realize. 1 in 5 adults experiences mental illness in any given year, and suicide is the second leading cause of death for young people ages 15 to 24. This week has been set aside as Mental Illness Awareness Week, and we welcome Heather Dunn with NAMI, that's the National Alliance on Mental Illness. Welcome, Heather. We're so happy to have you this morning.
Thank you for having me.
So what do you hope to accomplish in this week?
Well, today is actually World Mental Health Day, and what we want to do is just raise awareness about mental illness across the U.S. and especially with our youth today.
Now, you are the coordinator of a program called Ending Our Silence. What does that mean, and what are you doing with that program?
So Ending the Silence is a national program. It's a 50-minute presentation that we do in the schools, middle and high schools, where we can educate the teens about signs of mental illness and resources about what they can do. There is also a presentation for teachers where we can teach the teachers what they can look for and what they can do if they think a student has a mental illness.
So you go into a school, and what do you do with the kids? They come into the auditorium, the classroom?
We try to do smaller groups. We can do auditoriums, and we have, but we like to do it a classroom size, around 30 to 35. And we just give them a lot of education. We give them signs and symptoms of mental health conditions. There's so many different ones. We give them suicide awareness. We get them to just start talking about the conversation of mental health, because mental health is something that kids don't really talk about. We talk about physical health all the time, but we really need to start talking about mental health.
Are you surprised when you go into the classroom at some of the things the kids talk about, some of the things they bring out that they do know about?
You know, what really is the great thing about our program is at the end of our presentations, we always have 1 or 2 students that come up to us and confide in us about symptoms that they have been having. And we encourage them to talk to their mental health counselors or their parents. And that's what's so good about the program, is because we show them that they're not alone with a mental health condition, knowing that 1 in 5. And the issue is that 50% of people that have a mental health condition have symptoms by the age of 14.
Wow. 14?
Yes.
So what should parents look for then? How do I know if my 14-year-old is having problems?
Well, you know, if they start becoming withdrawn, if they start missing school assignments, if their sleep patterns get off, maybe they're eating too much or not eating enough, it really, if you're at home with them, you'll notice that there are symptoms. Maybe they just don't act like other children. And we also have a presentation for families where we can teach them those symptoms as well.
That's so great, because I remember it used to be that you didn't talk about mental illness, and there was almost a stigma even to seek treatment, to get therapy of any kind. As more celebrities and athletes have come out and talked about their own personal issues, are you seeing that that's affecting the youth? Are they more open?
I think so. I think with a lot of the celebrities now are actually saying that they have mental health conditions. I think it's really helping our youth, and we need to continue the talks about mental health because it is, you know, a disease of our brain. It's our ability to think, our ability to articulate our thoughts, and it's something that we really need to start, you know, taking notice of.
Well, we all need to get involved and do our part, and you're making it easy. You've got a great event coming up. NAMI is having its biggest fundraiser of the year. It's called Out of the Blue. It's October 25th, and at a really fun place, the Sarasota Architectural Salvage. For more information about the services for mental illness and the fundraiser, go to NAMISarasotaCounty.org. We'll be right back.
I feel happiest when I'm out enjoying my favorite things, like spending time in my garden. That's why I need a Humana Medicare Advantage plan.
Many Humana Medicare Advantage plans cover everything from emergency care and hospital stays to doctor office visits and prescription drug coverage. In fact, last year, Humana Medicare Advantage prescription drug plan members saved an estimated $6,900 on average on their prescription costs. Humana has a large network of doctors and hospitals, plans that include vision and dental coverage, and most plans include Silver Sneakers Fitness and a rewards program, all for a $0 monthly plan premium in most areas.
Now I can be happy and healthy and keep enjoying all of my favorite things.
Your health and happiness is important to us. Call or go online now to get your free decision guide and see how a Humana Medicare Advantage plan can help keep you enjoying your favorite things.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to mesobook.com.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.
We're losing exotic animals on a daily basis, and the ones that we have in captivity are really the ambassadors for their wild counterparts. I'm Clayton Rozier from the Big Cat Habitat and Gulf Coast Sanctuary, housing over 150 exotic animals that needed a great home. And if you love animals, please help them. Do it locally. Support your local no-kill shelters, your local wild animal sanctuaries. Make a difference where you can.
This is what high blood pressure looks like. Talk with your doctor to create a treatment plan that works for you. Go to loweryourhbp.org.
And welcome back. You might notice a few changes at your neighborhood Publix, not necessarily on the shelves, but on the faces of the baggers, cashiers, and stockers. Publix has just loosened a decades-old employee rule and will start allowing workers to grow beards and other facial hair beginning at the end of the month. The official statement is male associates can grow facial hair provided they keep a neat, clean, and professional appearance. The company has been testing the facial hair change in different markets. Previously, only mustaches were allowed. So Publix, it turns out, is not alone. In fact, the Canadian military is also allowing groomed facial hair. What do you think about this? Did you even notice that your cashiers or your workers didn't have them?
No, but I don't really like beards, but I can see where it could be very fashionable and very neat and professional. So it's okay with me.
But you didn't even notice. It wasn't a big change for you.
But now I'm going to pay attention.
There were many jobs I know when I was a teenager where you couldn't have a job with a beard, and at the time, you know, razors are expensive, beards were trendy for a while, they're trendy again, so it was kind of a hindrance a little bit, but it's never been an issue for you as far as cleanliness.
No, not at all. And Will does it seasonally.
So
he started growing the beard like for the winter time, fall and winter. Yes.
Now let me ask you the same question. Would it bother you if a server or someone who's giving you food had a large beard?
I don't think so.
Depends on how it looked.
Okay, so appearance and grooming is nice.
I think the grooming, yeah.
It's nice to see them loosening up some of their standards, especially for some great employees. Well,
can you have beards in television?
Actually, depending on the show, you cannot. And I think about this whenever I shave after a vacation, because a lot of us will go away, and you'll see we have the thicker beard while we're on vacation, but it's got to be gone for the air.
See, I didn't know that.
Well, we will check in with another beardless person at ABC7. Our very important man today, our meteorologist, John Scalzi, with a weather update. John?
Thank you very much, Joey. Very grateful, man, to be here on the Suncoast rather than in the Panhandle. That's for certain. Although effects of the storm are being felt here with the south-southeast wind at about 20 and along the coast a little bit stronger. Radar estimates from this storm indicate that it might even contain Category 5 winds. That is not official yet, and the Hurricane Hunter aircraft will be reporting back, but certainly very strong concentric eye wall with concentric radar echoes all around its periphery, indicating an intensifying storm moving up toward the Gulf Coast. This will be devastation after it makes landfall. For us, the outer bands give us some scattered showers today. Tornado watch boxes north of us, not for us, and our threat of severe weather is small, but still scattered showers continuing to move across the region provide us with fast-moving hits of intense rainfall and then move on. If you look at where the thunderstorm outlook is from the Severe Storm Prediction Center for the most likely location of tornadoes, it's north of us in this yellow box, and for us, even the marginal zone has been lifted north so that it no longer contains the Suncoast. Nevertheless, we will see some breezy conditions, but at least not the kind of tropical storm conditions that most all of the Florida Panhandle will experience as this huge and devastating storm moves closer. For us, even the chances of tropical storm force winds are in the lowest category and not anticipated. Along the immediate coastline, you'll probably see wind speeds of around 20 to 25 miles per hour with some gusts higher. For those with interest in the Tallahassee area, you're in about a 50-50 chance of hurricane force winds. This area in violet is an absolute certainty of hurricane force winds as the storm moves into Georgia, probably as a Category 1 hurricane by that point. We're looking at winds that are extremely strong on open, frictionless waters of the Gulf, and so obviously be in port through the afternoon and into tomorrow as well. We're looking at a 70 to 80% chance of showers today under windy conditions. Tomorrow, about a 50% chance. Winds shift, drier air moves in, and nighttime lows dip into the 60s as we head into the weekend. Cool, crisp nights with warm, dry afternoons. Saturday, mostly Sunday as well, and as we head into next week. When we come back, we'll join Bricks in the kitchen.
I heard about the Dotole Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotole Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was and some additional cancers that were not found during the biopsy. I would recommend the Dotole Cancer Center. As a group of human beings, they are unbelievably great.
ABC 7 News at 7, weeknights.
This is an important message for anyone with Medicare. You may be eligible for an all-in-one Medicare plan that combines hospital, medical, and prescription drug coverage together with extra benefits that may include dental, vision, hearing aids, and much more. Some of these plans have a $0 monthly premium regardless of your income. That's right. For one low plan premium, or in some cases a $0 premium, you may be able to get coverage for your hospital visits, doctor appointments, prescription drugs, routine dental care, eyeglasses and contact lenses, hearing aids, and possibly more. Today may be the first time you've heard about this type of Medicare plan. The advisors at the Medicare.com helpline are licensed insurance agents who will explain more when you call. Call now to see if you qualify. Call the number on your screen now. Call now to see if you qualify for these benefits. You worked hard for your Medicare. Now is the time for your Medicare to work hard for you. Not affiliated with or acting on behalf of any government agency or program.
My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Welcome back. We're in Rice's Appliance Kitchen with Pitmaster Clint from Brick's Smoked Meat. So what are we making here, Clint?
Today we're going to make Brick's baked beans.
Oh, yes. I bet I can make them better.
I know, I bet you can.
On a challenge
I bet you
at the
can.
beginning of the show.
Okay, show us.
So all good baked beans start with 2 ingredients, bacon and onion.
Okay.
So if you two could dice the onion and bacon for me. These beans here have been soaking overnight.
So this is a dumb question, but you're starting from fresh beans. We're not doing any canned. We're not doctoring up a can. All right, so I've been doing this the bad way.
You can do it that way too. I do it that way at home.
Okay.
So we're gonna.
So you soak them overnight.
Right.
And I've always heard that, but what does that do?
They're really dry when you get them out of the package, and
Okay.
that helps break them down, get them a little softer before you cook them.
All right.
And then if you're going to use a canned bean, you would start at this point and just use the canned bean.
Okay.
So the beans are drained. That
And
looks great, Linda.
Okay.
Let me, go ahead and put all that right in
Timing
here.
needs to be a little faster here.
I like to put the bacon in first to get the fat rendering
There
out
you
of
go.
it.
We bought you some time, Maria.
Okay, good. Try.
Any tears down there from the onions, or are you all right?
No, none so far.
All right.
And these are, this is cooking in an ounce of canola oil.
Okay.
And you're going to want to cook that until it crisps up and you get the onion a little more translucent.
Okay, do you recommend the cast iron skillet?
That's all I use at home.
Okay.
Yeah, all
Wow.
I use is cast iron. I really love them. They hold heat, especially on an electric range.
Mm-hmm.
With gas, you get the immediate heat, but with cast iron and electric, it'll hold the heat in the pan a lot better.
So good for kind of slow and low recipes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or some beans, like something you want to stew like that a little.
Yes.
All right.
She's chopping.
All right.
That's a lot of
Yeah,
onions.
that's, I think we're good there.
Okay, very
Doesn't have to
good.
be thinner. All right.
That's perfect.
We only need about a quarter cup of those.
Now we
find
you.
Grab that.
That's all right. I'm a fan of extra onion.
Yeah, onion is great.
We'll give the rest to Joey.
There you go.
So you're going to cook this for 5 to 7 minutes until the bacon is browned and the onions are translucent.
Okay.
And we have our drained beans. We're going to go ahead and add the bacon and the onion to our beans. And to the bowl, we're going to add your favorite barbecue sauce, whatever you like.
All right, there we go with the seasonings. Any preference? I know there's different, Memphis barbecue sauce. Is there any particular flavor or type of barbecue sauce for you?
No, not really. I like Sweet Baby Ray's
Okay.
at home.
All right.
At Bricks, we make our own.
Oh.
And it's delicious.
It is
a secret
delicious.
ingredient.
It's a secret,
yes.
absolutely.
Oh, and there's another secret ingredient.
And here goes some brown sugar. Put that in there and get it mixed in really well. And then this is a barbecue spice rub. And again, we make our own.
That's good.
So these are things I don't have to do my own barbecue
Right.
beans.
And if you're buying a barbecue rub in the store, you're going to want to look at the ingredients and make sure that the first ingredient isn't salt. Otherwise, it's going to be very salty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I would have never known why.
That's a good tip. That is quite a bit that you put in there.
I always look, I like to buy things that have salt maybe as the third ingredient.
Okay.
And that way it's a lot less salty.
Oh, so good to know.
And
Because
then
here comes the salt.
2 teaspoons of salt.
All right.
Put that in there, get everything mixed in really well.
This makes me think of one of those dishes that it's good when it's done, but it's even better after it has been kind of sitting for a little while.
Right. Let it stew, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And here it goes into glass bowl.
Now that everything's mixed, we're going to put it right into our casserole dish. And if you're using canned beans, you would want to cut the cook time back a little bit, maybe an hour and a half.
Okay.
At 325.
That goes right in the oven, and then we
hour and
end
a
up
half at
with
225.
delicious beans. One of the many great sides at Bricks, of course, known for your smoked meats, but your sides are fantastic as well. Also, great cocktails. No surprise that that popped up on my radar. But I do love Bricks. Downtown Sarasota, a great thing as we're coming up for the holidays too. We can order sides from you. But by November 1st?
Yeah, the first part of November, definitely.
Wonderful.
Get your orders
well,
in.
Thank you, Clint. Maria, thank you for being with
us.
Thank
you for having me.
Everyone, stay safe. Keep an eye on the weather forecast. We are going to dig into the beans, take some time, enjoy the Suncoast view.